Welcome to Nina Speaks Media English. I'm Nina de Rosa, and I'm going to be your host for the next hour. And as I always say, I have incredible guests, and today I have two of them. But there's a reason why I have two. Actually, I'm in my element because I had a show for the younger generation for 16 years. And I have a young man on the show today. He's an incredible person, Sheridan Archibald, and also he's got his manager on, Clarence Walton. The reason I have his manager on is because I can't do a show under 18 on the internet without having a guardian, a manager, or a parent, or someone there. So that's why we have two of them on. And also it's fun to have him on because he happens to be Sheridan's manager. Now Sheridan was born, and after 3 days he was born, he was not apparently very well. And then he apparently got over his illness, and we'll find out what that was. And he became rather this sort of this angel from heaven. Started singing at a very, very young age. And reading some of what he's done, I believe he's only 12 or 13, I'll find that out too. He sings in like 8 or 10 different languages, and this is amazing. And Clarence, I'm really jealous of him being able to have to be the manager of this young man. Just be with him and just watch him grow, watch what he does. So before I go any further, let's introduce Sheridan. How are you, Sheridan?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good. And then we have your manager there, Clarence Wilson. How are you?
I'm doing extremely blessed. Thank you so much for having us on.
Telling me you are blessed. You are one blessed man. Being able to manage this young man. Well, Sheridan, you know, we had a couple of mishaps. We had a lot of mishaps on this show, but at least eventually we got it together. We're all here.
Yeah, that's good.
We are. And so, how old are you, Sheridan?
I am 13 years old.
Oh, you are 13. Okay, so you're becoming an old man, right? And how long have you been singing? You've been professionally. How long have you been singing?
Professionally, I have been singing for, right now it's going on 3 years.
3 years. And when did you find out, or did your parents find out, or probably you did, that you had this voice, this beautiful voice? How old were you?
Well, I started singing when I was about 3, little, like, Jesus Loved Me with all my brothers. And then we went to school when I was about 8. We went to choir, and I was in the choir, and I sang, and they kept complaining that I was too loud. And they said, be quiet, be quiet. So I would kind of be quiet, but then when the real performance came, I was like, come on, sing, cover our voices. And it was so funny, but then one day when my mom came to pick me up from school, one of my teachers said that I had an operatic voice. And my mother said, you know, we'll look into that. So we went home. We started looking on YouTube videos, and I found Luciano Pavarotti. He's an amazing opera singer. And the first song I ever learned was Nessun Dorma, and it was amazing.
Absolutely, it is amazing, and it is. But did you not first start to sing with your older brother? Didn't he sort of sing? And then you were kind of sort of following him through with it because you kind of liked it, and then you kind of became better than he was. And he was pretty good, right?
Yes, he was very good. I used to copy him. He would make me teach in the car, and I would make another one. I was like trying to beat him, you know, how older brothers are.
Yeah, I know. Older brothers always have that sort of edge on life, don't they? I have one older brother, and I have an older sister, so I've got two to cope with. But when you get older, it's okay. So, Clarence, let's get over to you a little bit. How long have you been the manager for Sheridan?
You know, I've been blessed to work with Sheridan for the last 6 months.
Oh, that's all? Not very long?
No, not at all.
No. Now, I also understand that you actually do not take on younger people. You prefer to have older singers and opera and or whatever. I'll find out from you later of what singers you have. But you really did not want to take on any child, did you?
Actually, I love the children. I prefer to work with talent. In most cases, it's the parents that have the issue.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I really look at the talent for who they are. I'm not biased to any particular age. As long as they're willing to learn, as long as they're willing to work hard and focus, I'd be more than happy to work with them.
Okay. Do you actually help Sheridan get his act together and to have the whole performance together, or does he have somebody else that does that for him?
That's what I do. I'm like a performance coach for him, but he has a phenomenal team. I mean, just his mom alone is phenomenal. So Sheridan has a team that really invests in him as a person. It gives him a holistic approach to his craft, and I have the opportunity of working with the overall performance.
That's amazing. And how long have you been in the business as a manager?
15 years.
15 years. So anybody out there, my audience, anybody who is really thinks they're really, really good, you know, you can always get hold of Clarence Lawton and he'll maybe help you. But you've got to be really good.
Absolutely.
Really good. But this guy, Sheridan, you are just so amazing, and it's such an incredible thing to see that there's so many people behind you. Only 13. You've got all these people behind you helping you go along. How do you feel about that? I mean, it's sort of, you know, you're only 13.
Yes, yeah. You can never have enough support, especially my mom and my dad. My mom is always there to help me learn behind me. My dad is always there to encourage me when I'm performing. It's amazing.
It is amazing. And what is the most challenging performance you've ever done? Well,
the most challenging.
yes.
What do you mean by challenging?
Challenging is actually performing at a longer time, or performing songs you haven't sung before, or sort of being in a very large audience.
Yes, I have a few that have been very challenging. The first one I sang at Festa Italiana in Chicago on Taylor Street. I did a first 1-hour concert in my life. It was a pretty good experience. Then I did another one on Festa Italiana the next year with my friend Anastasia Lee, and we did another 1-hour concert.
Now, I also understand that you're homeschooled, is that correct?
Yes.
You're homeschooled because you suffer from dyslexia?
Yes.
But it seems to have, you know, it's funny, I always look at when we have a problem, because I was very slow when I was a child like you, and I never had the same as you, and I think I also had ADHD because I always had so much energy, but in those days, we never put a name to any of this, so I escaped all that name stuff. But sometimes I always feel that when you have something like that, you have an advantage somewhere else. I always feel that you're given a chance for something else. Instead of worrying about that, you now become a singer.
Yes.
And what made you decide to go into the, I guess, what do you call it, opera singing?
Opera singing? Well, I believe that if God gives you talent, do not throw it away. Use it wisely and use it to glorify Him.
The glory. So you're very much into God. What about you, Clarence? I mean, the words coming out of him is like talking to a 26-year-old.
You know what? I have to give all the credit to his parents. What you're hearing is a result of the love from his mom and his dad to him reciprocating that love, and what you're hearing is a foundation of character and integrity, and that's what attracted me to Sheridan. And when he talks about glorifying God with his talent, he's living proof that it doesn't matter the age, as long as you have the focus, the upbringing, and the foresight to do it, you can bless a lot of people, and that's exactly what Sheridan's doing.
Yeah, sure, it's blessing a tremendous amount of people. But isn't a voice at a very young age? Because when I hear him sing, it doesn't seem like he's got a voice that matches his age. Where does all that come from, Clarence?
Genetics. No, I'm just kidding. It's part of it. His mother sings incredibly, so I do know that by default, you know, his talent, definitely you can trace it back up to her, and I'm sure his dad has some talent as well. I haven't heard him sing yet, though. But when it comes down to it, it's a result of hard work. It's a lot of practice. It's her being able to recognize the gift that he has, be able to articulate that, and with her ear and her training, she was able to say, okay, I see a gift here and I want to hone that craft. So that's when she started to mobilize the team, probably early on as a youngster, to be able to cultivate that talent that God gave him.
Absolutely. How often do you practice, Sheridan?
Well, I practice 6 days a week.
Okay.
I practice, that depends if like I have a new song. I will usually practice, I warm up 30 minutes, Then if it's a new song, I will usually practice another 30 minutes for the new song, and then I'll practice another 30 minutes later in the day.
So you're quite dedicated, actually, to being to the perfection of what you do.
Yes.
And so you sort of who is your influence in this world? Who do you sort of gravitate to sort of I don't want to say be like, because you're your own person. I believe people are their own people, but who is the influence out there?
My greatest influence is my mother and my father.
Really?
Yes.
So your father sings?
Yes, he has a beautiful tenor voice.
Really?
Yes.
So, and then of course your mother. Do we ever see any records, or we ever hear your mother sing anywhere?
She makes songs that I sing, and she does all the audio engineer. She plays the piano. She does a lot of stuff. I mean, countless.
So, do you feel that without her, you wouldn't be where you are now?
Yes, she is the reason that I'm here.
Really?
Yes.
She's a phenomenal producer.
I'm sorry?
She's a phenomenal producer.
Who? Sheridan?
His mother.
His mother's a producer. Yeah,
absolutely.
Sounds like it. But she only takes care of her son. She doesn't take care of anybody else.
Her son's enough.
Well, she could be a manager, or she could be putting other shows together, but she's not. She's just doing this particular one that she wants. Now, I understand you were on America's Got Talent.
Yes, that's true.
How old were you when you went on to that?
It was the greatest experience of my life. I got to go to New York City for the first time in my life. I got the opportunity to perform at Madison Square Garden, and all the judges gave me a standing ovation, including Howard Stern. That was amazing.
Yeah, especially Howard Stern, because he's pretty choosy. He doesn't stand for too many people.
Yes, that's true.
How old were you when you did that?
I was 12.
So it was a year ago you did that.
Yes.
Now, you obviously got beaten out. How far in it did you get?
As far as that, I do not know, but all I know is that I had a really great time.
Now, do you think because you did that, that has, or I'll ask you this, Clarence, do you think that enhances where he's going and what he's doing?
Absolutely, because of the experience. You know, at 13 years old, we're all amazed at his talent, but that talent has to have some experience to back it up, and to be able to go out and perform in front of judges that see thousands upon thousands of talent, to receive a standing ovation, to be able to go from there and to travel the United States and perform at different festivals and different arenas. That experience has taken him to a whole different level, whereas normally he would not be there.
No, he wouldn't. So you're practicing, we'll go back to the practicing. You're practicing sort of, half an hour, a couple of hours a day. What about your schooling? You're schooled at home, and do you mind that? Do you like that? You probably feel more comfortable being schooled at home.
Yes, it gives me the opportunity to travel.
I never thought of that, but yeah. True, but then you still have to turn in every week or month or whatever it is. You have to turn in papers, right?
Yeah, it's kind of bad sometimes, or annoying, should I say, but you got to do it.
You got to do it. Yeah. Do you believe to have a good education to go where you're going and to do what you're doing?
Do I believe? Yes, I do.
You do believe in a good education. So whether you like doing it or whether you don't like doing it, you're still going to do it.
Yes, I will do it.
Yeah. What is your best subject in everyday school?
I would have to say reading, because I have dyslexia and it makes it very hard for me to read, so I try to overcome that, and it's very good.
So you read a lot, trying to. So when you read, what do you read? Is it back to front or something?
Well, it depends. Sometimes you'll read it back to front. Sometimes you'll put a word that's not there, and then my dad will say, "Where did you get that I from? Where did you get the is from?" And it gets annoying, and it said, "Yeah, it's kind of on me, but it happens."
Well,
maybe try to fix it.
You should write your own book, and then you can put all your I's and E's and everything. You can add all that stuff. It would probably be very interesting anyway, wouldn't it?
Yes.
It would be, yes. So that was so. So what do you do as a hobby? Do you have hobbies? Do you do anything else?
Yes, I do have a hobby. I like riding the bicycle, and I also play at the Yorkville Judo Club.
The judo. So you do have a normal life as well?
Yes, of course. Yes.
And what did you say, Clarence?
I know he plays the harmonica too.
Oh, you play the harmonica. Oh, yeah, I was going to say, what other instruments do you play?
Well, I play the harmonica. I don't major in that. I just do it for fun.
Just do it for fun. Have you started playing the piano yet?
Well, I will be learning that soon, but no, not right now.
Not now. Clarence, do you think there's a minimum of how many instruments or what he should do at such a young age and just concentrate on his singing?
Well, his voice is an instrument, and that's what he's learning how to master right now. And I think that as time permits and as his schedule opens up as far as his education is concerned right now, just to learn your voice is, that takes years to master anyway, especially being so young, going through puberty, and his voice is changing. But as far as the instruments, I definitely believe that the piano down the line will definitely help him vocally.
Yeah.
And also melodically.
Yeah, I can see him playing and singing and everything else.
Yeah.
Do you ever do any of the Frank Sinatra or anything like that?
Do any pop songs? Yes, other than classical and opera. Yes, I do other stuff like that. Songs, yeah.
You like it, or would you prefer the opera?
Well, I like singing. Period.
Wherever it is or whatever it is,
yes, I like singing.
You're ready. Now, as a manager, do you allow him to take any job that's offered to him, or do you check them out to make sure he's going to be in the right place to build himself up? Because I know sometimes you can go to a place and it might not be well suited for making his next move.
Well, that's a great question. And first of all, we're blessed to be in a position to where we can do different things. So we look at everything holistically. Mm-hmm. And we look at the venue, we look at the what exactly they want him to do, how long they want him to do it. We make sure that it's a win-win situation on both ends. But whether it's a birthday party, whether it's a gigantic festival, we look at everything and we balance it out. We make sure that it's balanced.
That it's balanced. So because he's such a young age, and also you've got to make sure that he doesn't kind of ruin his voice, because I know sometimes you can be young and then you get into the older side, and your voice could be a little bit wrecked, or it could be sort of, it has a problem because you strained it too much as a child. So
that's why I have such great instructors now, so he can learn how to master that instrument, that craft, his voice, so he doesn't destroy it. So when you build the foundation correctly, breathing techniques, working his diaphragm early, learning how to hold the notes and
the vocal techniques, yes.
The vocal techniques, everything that it takes to master his craft early. So when he gets older, they're more habits, they're good habits, they're great techniques, and I don't think he'll have an issue going on.
So Sheridan, do you mind any of that? Because what sounds like what Clarence is talking about is going to take a little longer, because he's gearing you, rather than just go out there and sing ad lib. He's training you into singing properly and to sing so you maintain this voice. And it might take longer than what you have anticipated, but at the same time, it's going to put you in a place where you're going to benefit. Do you mind that?
I didn't really catch that. I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying that you're being trained. Sometimes you want to sing the songs you want to sing, and he's not going to allow you to sing some of those songs because he doesn't want to ruin your voice. So he
yes, that's true. Yeah.
And does he? And do you mind that?
Well, no, not really, because they know better, obviously, and I just follow what they say.
Thank you, sir.
Who's showing who here? we got to respect our talent, right, Clarence?
Absolutely.
He's pretty cool here. If you wanted to be produced by somebody or have a conductor, who would you pick?
I have a local favorite, Maestro Riccardo Muti. He plays at the Chicago, and he plays in Chicago. I went to one of his concerts, and I loved it absolutely. It's amazing.
Really? Now, how are you able to pronounce all these incredible words? Because each time you mention a name, you pronounce it absolutely beautifully, very European. And you're not European, though your mom and dad are, aren't they?
Well, my mom is European, yes. So yeah, I have that. Like I know Russian. She taught me Russian, so we speak Russian at home. And yes.
So how many was I right? You sing in what, 8 or 10 languages?
6 different languages. Yes, I sing in English, Italian, French, Russian, German, and Tagalog. That's a Filipino dialect.
And Clarence,
Did I say that right?
how many languages do you speak?
Well, I just put it. It's just keeping up with him makes me want to go back and find that Rosetta Stone and relearn some languages. He does a phenomenal job.
I know, because now, can you speak these languages or only sing in them?
Well, I can speak Russian better than any of the languages, but most of them I only sing.
Most of them you only sing. Do you feel that you can pick those up pretty easily, though? Because singing them and knowing what the words are would be quite easy, wouldn't it?
Yes, yes.
So is that what you would like to do? Well, you're already doing it, right? But would like to keep doing it. So Astrid, how do you like being? How do you like having all these people around you and kind of telling you what to do and how to do it and sort of guiding you? And
guidance, yes.
It's a lot of guidance. Do you get a little bit tired of that, of not being able to do what Sheridan would like to do?
No, actually no, because you need all the guidance you can get while you're young, because then you can duplicate it while you're older.
Well, that's true. So when you are helping him sing, Clarence, and he's going to do it in a different language, in German, say, or whatever language, how are you able to follow that?
Having the lyrics in English.
Oh, so you have them in the language you're singing in, Sheridan, and you have them in English. And it's based on the same language. Does it come out the same? Because I know
you want to translate the emotion the same. So saying I love you in Spanish and saying I love you in French, it's still saying I love you. And he's been able to interpret that. And what also, of course, our secret weapon is his mother. His mother speaks all these languages as well, can sing in these languages too. So we do have her as a support and also as guidance when it comes to singing.
So she's able to translate it and put it all together. That's an incredible advantage. Because I'm just floored by, what do you think of today's music? It's very different music. There's a lot of R&B out there, which is quite cool.
Yes, there are a lot of genres, and personally I like classical music, but I think there's something for everybody out there.
So you don't really mind it, but you prefer the classical side?
Yes.
Which is your favorite language to sing in?
Well, the easiest one to sing in is English.
Nice.
But my favorite language is Italian.
Italian? Oh, wonderful. I was married to an Italian, so I like that. And they've got some... Are you going to sing something for us?
Yes, a little bit. Yes, I will sing... Funiculi, funicula.
Okay. Oh!
Okay. Yes.
Oh, yes, I know a little bit of that.
I said un anni me ne saliette, tu sai edo. Adò sto cuore ingrato chiudi spiette, farmene un po'. Adò lo fuoco coce ma si fuie, te lascia sta. E non te corre appresso, non te struie, sulla guarda. Yamon koppa yammaya, funiculi, funicula, koppa yammaya, funicula.
Oh, Clarence, what do you think? Isn't that amazing? I just think it's amazing to sing just off the cuff like that. I think it's sort of, are you asked to do that quite often?
Yes. Wow. Yes, I have to say. And sometimes you're unprepared and you just have to do it.
And so for auditions, do you ever have to go on to auditions to without, like what you just did, a cappella?
A cappella, yes. Sometimes you do. Sometimes they allow you to bring in a track.
Okay, so when you can bring your own track, which one do you prefer?
My favorite song?
No,
Or
yeah.
I prefer to do it with a track, depending on what song. If it's anthem, I would prefer to do it solo, a cappella. Yeah.
So it's, but do you find it, are you nervous when you go into these auditions to get to get what they want?
Well, if it's your first time in auditions, then obviously you'd be nervous, but the more you go to auditions, the more experience you get and the more less nervous you are. Because the more confident you get.
Yeah, so I guess we would call you not nervous.
Yes.
Do you get, now you're living in where, Chicago now?
Yes, Chicago.
Yeah. Is there enough, well, I'll ask you, Clarence, is there enough work for him to get there, to be able to move himself along, or does he have to try to sort of now go into New York or to a bigger city?
No. There is definitely work, but we're thinking globally. So whether we're here, whether we're in New York, it doesn't matter. At this particular point, he's mastering his craft. He's getting his whole show together, per se. And then whether it's in Chicago, New York, there's plenty of work.
Good. Now, when you say his whole show together, how long is his show?
It depends on the venue. Sometimes it can be 20 minutes. As he said before, he did an hour before with a co-singer that he sang with. So it really depends on the venue.
Yeah. And you can actually hold, Sheridan, you can hold a show for a whole hour?
Yes. I can hold a show for 1 hour.
Can you hold it for any longer?
We haven't tried that yet. It would be an experiment.
Do you think you could?
But I'm getting the proper training to go more than 1 hour, yes.
Now, with all this training and all this stuff, and sort of, putting this all together, it's a lot of hard work for you. Do you count it as hard work, or do you count it as fun?
Well, that depends what you call fun. If someone likes working and said it's fun working, then yes. But for me, fun, I don't do it because it's fun. I do it because I have a passion when I do it. I like it.
You love it. You do it because you like it. So that it's not really like work. It's not like anything like that because
yeah.
You love it so much. Now how many brothers and sisters do you have?
I have no sisters. I have 2 brothers. I'm the youngest.
You're the youngest. And what do your 2 brothers think of what you're doing?
They all support me very much. They're very happy that I'm singing too. They always come to my concert and they're like, yeah, go Sheridan! They're always there to cheer me on. It's amazing.
Go on. So you've got this tremendous, because sometimes, in Clarence, this in a family, they get, jealous if one's doing well and the other one's doing something else or whatever.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens, but it doesn't happen with you.
Well, I can't really say that, but it doesn't have to happen as often as it did before.
No. Now, I also understand you're an all-A student, is that correct?
Yes.
Yay!
Yeah, we all love that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
What makes you an all-A student?
Well, that depends. Are you talking about school or are you talking about singing?
Well, we'll talk about both.
Both.
You're an all-A student in singing, so we know that. But what about just regular school?
Well, it's because my mom is always there behind me. She's always there to support me. She's always there to help me. And like I said, my dad is always there to encourage me.
Now, what does your dad do?
My dad is a doctor. He does family practice.
So he's making sure he looks after you well.
Yes. Never get sick.
He doesn't want you to ever get sick at all.
Yes.
If there was other children like you going into this business, Sheridan, what kind of advice would you give them of, your little experience?
Yes. For you children who are out there and think that just because you have something or you don't think you can make it, well, you're wrong. You have to work it, be persistent, and never give up, and master your craft.
But that takes a lot of sort of focus and a lot of sort of,
Yes, it's not easy at first. You're like, man, it's so hard. But then once you get to know it, you get like, you get a passion to do it. You're like, I want to do this, even though it's not fun. Or sometimes people think it's fun. They just have a passion to do it, and they just love it.
Yeah, because you see a lot of these young people that are in the Olympics and the gymnastics and all that, and you know that they started since they were very young kids.
Oh yeah.
But the dedication, and you're doing the same sort of thing in singing now, but the dedication, Clarence, that these young people put into their lives, how and why do they know at such a young age that this is what they want and this is what they want to do?
That's a great question, but it would come from the child and the parent. You know, in Sheridan's case, his mother was able to notice it early on that he can sing. And then him doing different venues and whatnot just confirmed that. Some people are late bloomers, and they don't find out till later. You know, it really depends on the community they grow up in.
And the parents too, I guess.
100%, yes.
Do you think it's definitely I asked you this, Sheridan, do you think it's definitely the parents that have kind of help you get where you are? Do you think you would be, if they didn't help you and they just let you do what you wanted to do and you had this amazing voice and they just said that's a great voice and you get on with it, do you think you would be as far forward as you are now?
No, my parents are the ones that, without them, I would not be what I am right now. They're the ones who help me. They're there to support me all the time. It's just amazing to have parents.
Do you think, Clarence, that a lot of parents these days are not really spending enough time with their children or sort of, you know, taking care of them as our parents?
That's a stacked question.
Yeah.
I really think that it depends on the family unit. Some parents don't have the resources to invest in the support that they'd like. So they, of course, might have to work several jobs to, you know, might have a single mom with a kid that's talented, but she has to work 2 jobs just to make sure that there's food on the table. That's not to say that she doesn't want to support her child, but circumstances make it to where she can't the way she wants, and then, of course, that child has to bloom a little bit later, but they do bloom. Then the other case is when you have parents that have talented children that just really don't care. You know, they might have talent in one particular area, but they want that talent to go somewhere else. Yeah. You know, it may be focused on sports, it may be focused on academics or whatever, but if it doesn't fit what the parent wants for the child, there might be some sort of miscommunication there. So it really depends on that family unit and the communication they have between each other.
Between each other. Do you think Sheridan, do you think that the young people should be more open to their mother and fathers to let them know a little bit more what they want and what they really would like to do, and rather
yes, they should, yes.
having this gap? Because a lot of children are sort of told to be quiet, and it's, you know, the greatest word to a child is no, no, no. Everything's no.
Yeah, true, very true.
You can't do this, no, you can't go here. You don't seem to get that. Do you think that they should really listen to their children a little bit more? Because there's so many talented children out there that don't get the opportunity like you've got.
Yes.
You think so? They think they should open up a little bit more?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you have any brothers and sisters, Clarence?
Yes, I have an older sister and a younger sister.
And do you have any children of your own yet? Oh, I guess I don't see you're married first.
Yes, I have 6 sons.
You have how many?
6.
6 sons. Okay.
Yes, and I've been married.
They have their own chorus.
They're doing phenomenal. I've been married to my wife 27 years. Been with her 30.
Oh.
And just recently became a grandfather, so I'm excited about that.
You are. Do you know how old you look, Clarence?
You said how?
No, how old you look. I know this is not how old you are. You look like you're about 28, 30, that's all. So I know you're not that age if you've got grandchildren.
Oh, no, double that.
That's amazing. So do any of your children sing?
Absolutely. Right now, I have a son that, are you familiar with Prince?
Sure.
He just put out an album yesterday, and my son did that with him.
Really? So
he
was he singing with him, or were they singing together?
Well, there's 2 albums that just came out by Prince, Plectrum Electrum,
yes,
which is Third Eye Girl, and Prince's Artificial Cage. Well, that album was produced by Prince and my son, Joshua Aaron Michael Welton. And his wife is Prince's drummer for Third Eye Girl. So dealing with talented children, I've been doing it for pretty much my whole life. And to be able to see, of course, my son go from mastering his craft to working with an international superstar, you know, I can just see Sheridan following those footsteps very easily.
But then, in a different music arena?
Well, when you think about Prince, he isn't really nailed down to any one genre, and
No.
I can see that. I can see that with Sheridan as well. He's doing a phenomenal job with classical crossover,
Yes.
but I think that he might dip and dab in other genres as well. He's not just being limited. He's doing a phenomenal job as a classical crossover artist, and he'll end up dominating that at one point. But right now, he's being introduced to so many different things and different genres, just so his vocal craft can be on point.
Absolutely, and it's funny because I've always liked classical and jazz. I've always liked the mixture of the classical and the jazz, but even mixing the classical and the jazz singing. Do you like to sing jazz, Sheridan?
Do I like singing jazz? I don't believe I've sang jazz before. I've listened to it, but no, I don't think I've sang it.
I haven't sung it. So do you think that would be something that he will go into, Coach?
Oh, yes. Yes, indeed.
Oh, you've got a treat in store.
Part of the development is to be able to vocally go into different genres, just like he did with classical crossover.
Yes.
That's his home base, that's his foundation. But as an artist, you want to be able to work with different colors. And that's definitely one we will explore soon.
Absolutely. And how long will that take to explore all that, or do you want to just make sure that he's got what he's doing right now perfectly in order and not sort of disturb where he's going?
You know what? Not to sound too philosophical, but it's a lifelong journey. He has to develop the appreciation now. And then as that grows and as the different music he's introduced to, that's when he'll start to experiment a little bit more. But we're going to settle his foundation right now with classical crossover, but teach him the appreciation of jazz, blues, etc.
All that, because he's very much into it, and I think that he would absolutely be perfect at all of that, because that's just,
Right.
how you are, Sheridan. You're just so talented and so sort of... what are your views? There's a question here. It says, what are your views on politics and religion? Now, I never put politics and religion in the same place, but they're down here at the same place, so let's put politics first. What's your view as a young person of what's going on right now in politics?
Well, I believe that I'm too young to be in politics, so I do not know what's going on in politics right now. But on religion, I just believe what the Bible says.
Touche.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Do you go to church every week?
Yes.
You do. And do you think other children, because there seem a lot of the young people are dropping out or didn't even drop in the first place.
Yeah.
Do you think a lot more of them should actually, go to church to get that foundation and to get that kind of feeling that because when you have God within you, you're never alone.
Yes, that's true, yes.
You've always got, even if you are alone, you're never alone.
Yeah.
You've always got it. My earplugs keep filling out because I've got such small ears. Are you aware of what the current events are going on now and where you're going?
Or am I going?
Yes. On current events, where are you headed to in your mind?
In my mind right now, I do not know. There's so many places I could be going into, but I don't really know.
You don't really know. There's no definite place that you've got in your head that you would like to go to, the direction you would like to go into right now. Or you just...
the direction I would like to pursue is singing, because that's what I'm doing most.
Absolutely. But I mean, in what arena? You want to stay where you are and sort of fulfill that?
Yes, definitely.
You want to definitely fill that. Do you agree with that, Clarence? I think you've said yes before on that.
Absolutely, 100%.
How does a child stay focused? Because you're a child. How do you stay focused?
Me?
Yeah.
Well,
you think other ways. We think,
Yes, that's so true, because most kids, they don't have attention. They all have attention span times. So some kids, they'll have it for about 15 minutes, others for 20. Me, my teacher said that I have it for 1 hour. So I'll believe what he says because he's the one teaching me. And who else? Yeah, so apparently 1 hour.
So you could have your attention. So this obviously means he loves what he's doing, because to have an attention span is something that you like. Normally, if you don't like something, your attention floats somewhere else because you're not really interested in what you're doing and how you're.
Yes. And that's only in singing.
Oh, so what about the rest?
Well, the rest is.
What about when you're spelling? What about when you're studying? What about when you're writing or you're spelling or you're doing all that, regular
Well, when I do that, you do the hard part first, and then the easy part it's easy. You do it.
So you have a way of getting the hard stuff done first and then you leave the easy stuff for last. That's pretty cool.
Yes.
That's pretty good. Are you going to go to college?
I hope so. I believe so.
Do you think it's wise for him to go to college, Clarence, rather than just go straight into the music business? Obviously, he's going to go to a college where he's going to study and practice and do music, obviously. Do you think that's advisable? Because so many of them do not do that in the music business.
No, I totally believe in continued education. So whether it's college, I definitely see that in his future. I think that he'll have the option. And I think at that time he'll choose wisely because of the foundation that we're giving him now. We really are proud of Sheridan because of his focus on education and his focus on mastering his craft, no matter what it takes to do that. And part of that is learning how to understand music theory, understanding his vocals, understanding higher education to make him a lot stronger in the future.
Yeah, because do you think there's a lot of competition out there?
Oh, yes.
Yep, there is. Really? In your capacity, though?
You can Google them.
I guess that's so true. When you go into when you think of something, you think no one's in it. And then you get in it, and you suddenly realize all these other people are doing the same thing. So it's
Yes.
That can be a big culture shock. Now, I understand you've won a couple of awards here. You won an award in the Kendall Country Talent Show. You won an award?
Yes. The first award that I ever won was at Peoria. It's in Illinois. It was I sang Time to Say Goodbye right after I learned Ness and Dorma, and I got first place. Then I believe the second one was at the Brown County Fair in Ohio. And then recently I sang at Tennessee and got the first prize, and the same as Brown County. And then I sang here locally at the Kendall County Fair, got grand prize, and I was awarded the Trendsetter of the Year here locally in Aurora.
Wow. So you've got a full set of prizes there and an award.
Yes.
It sounds like you've got more than I have. I have a lot, but you feel like you've got a lot more than I have. You've got a lot more than I have. When you get into these prizes and when you go into these competitions, how do you feel about it? Do you think, you see all these people out there singing and you want to win. How do you get that over there to win? Because you won so much.
Yes. Well, it's apparently because, most people, when you go into competition, people say, it's very easy to sing, anyone can sing. Well, it's not easy. Anyone can sing, but to sing good, it's not easy. And when you go into the competition, they're like, it's like any other concert, just pretend you're no judges. And it's not as easy to just pretend because they're staring at you, making sure you do everything perfect, and you have to do it perfect. And you achieve that by practicing a lot and practicing perfect to get the perfect results. And most people, when they sit in the back room, they just sit down and just look at the chill, the drink. But me, I'm always walking back and forth, back and forth. Okay, remember the lyrics, don't forget this, don't forget that. Then when I go on stage, I do it perfect because I know I did it perfect. I heard myself, and the judges give me a perfect ovation. And I was like, yes, I did it.
That's the process.
That is a process, yeah, but to stick to that process, because judges, you never know. I mean, so there's 4 judges there, and each one of them are looking at something different. I mean, so you could have like 4 different things going on, and you've got to have this whole thing together to make sure that that you're not just standing there trying to remember it. It's got to come over like it's like this is what you do all the time.
Yes.
But anyway, I also got written down here that you do a little comedy. Now, how do you do that? Because you got that little impish look on your face. And so, where does this comedic thing come from?
It comes from my dad.
Huh?
It comes from my dad.
Your dad.
Yes.
So he's a bit of a comedian.
It's probably in his genes, and he passed it down to me. And Whenever Mr. Clarence will know when my attention span is over, because then I start being jokey and everything. He's like, okay, your attention span, you're done. Let's go. And like,
well, don't you feel that because he's got this little comedic side of him, it kind of relaxes him a little bit, because he can either, he doesn't have to stand there serious, he can stand there and he can sort of have the smile on his face, which he has, and he can say, you know, something funny, and he's got this little sort of impish comedic thing about him.
Well, that's the thing I love about Sheridan. When it's time for him to do it right and to practice perfectly, he does it. It's when towards the end of the sessions is when he starts to get a little restless, like every other 13-year-old kid. But he's so focused while we're doing it. It's all about the quality time, not just quantity. So in other words, we don't have to practice so much so often to get something right, because when we do practice, we practice the quality of it. And that makes his performance that much better. So he does allow himself a little bit of time to kind of mess around a little bit.
Yeah.
I think that's, because listen, I think that's cool. I mean, look how he is right now. You know, he's like, he's easy. You're very easygoing. What makes you so easygoing, Sheridan?
I don't know. I guess it's in my nature.
Now, when you're standing in the wings and you're about to go out on a performance, you're about to go out on the stage and you've got, say, 100, 200, I don't know, a lot of people out there. What goes through your mind, and how do you get over, which you probably may not even have, the fear of getting onto that stage? Because everybody has that kind of, not fear, but that feeling that bubbles up inside of you that, I've got to get it right, I've got to do this.
Yeah. Well, the first time I ever went to the first competition was in Peoria, and I really did not take that serious because my mom said, all right, let's try a competition. So I didn't care as much as I did now about if I did a mistake or if I did. I tried to do my best, but I didn't really care as much as I did now because it was only like, Mom said, let's test it. So I was like, okay. So I didn't really feel any butterflies. I was really nervous. I just sang on there, did my best, and like walked off. But then after I went, I was like, wow, I didn't know I did that so good. But then once we started taking it more seriously, then we started getting to bigger competitions, then I would be like, don't mess up. Don't mess up. And then once you get on there, you're like, the first thing I do is I don't want to forget the lyrics, because once you forget the lyrics, you're stumped. You're out. And most people just say, just sing something else. And for me, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work because I feel that I can know when I do something different. So I always make sure I have the lyrics. The tune automatically is in there. And I go up on there. The first time you go on stage, you get a bit stage fright or stage nervous. But me personally walking onto stage doesn't get me nervous. It's the people that are in front of me. But the more experience that I have, like if you put me on a stage with no people, I'll just walk in there and do whatever I want. Yeah, I don't care. But the people that are there, that they're looking at me back then I'll be nervous. But the more experience I have, the less stage fright or nervousness, how you call it, I have.
Yeah, so then you walk out there at an ease, and that probably shows, right, Clarence? Does that show when he walks out with confidence? And it's
Absolutely, absolutely. You know what I love about him is no matter the show, because he does care about his performance, he does care what the people hear. There is those little jitters in the beginning, but when he gets on stage and that music cues, you're looking at pure genius.
Really?
Absolutely.
What makes you think that he's like that? I mean, is it the confidence that he builds within himself of going out? You're a perfectionist?
Yes. Yes, I am definitely a perfectionist. Well, it's the most confident I am ever being is when I sing one song. It is time to say goodbye. It is my best song. So whenever I'm in a competition and I'm going to sing Time to Say Goodbye, I'm like, all right, you're going to be singing Time to Say Goodbye. And I'm like, yes. And then I go on stage and I'm like, I know I'm going to nail it. So you guys better walk out right now because I know I'm going to win. I know that song, everyone loves it, and I do it perfect. I just nail it every time.
All right, well, then you're kind of putting me to the challenge here, because I'm going to ask you if you can sing a little bit of it. Can you sing a little of it now?
Right now? Yes.
Okay, let's go for it.
All right, let me try my best.
Clarence, you look worried.
No, not that. I was just going to ask him if he needed some water or anything. You need water or anything?
No, I'll just do like the first stanza. Okay.
Just a little bit.
Quando sono solo sogno all'orizzonte mancano le parole. Sì, lo so che non c'è luce in una stanza quando manca il sole. Se non ci sei tu con me, con me.
Woo! Bow down.
Not just a little bit.
No,
Thank you.
I'm sitting waiting for more, but I'm not going to get greedy. Don't worry. I'm not. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
So that is amazing. Now, what about all his PR and everything? Are we getting that done? Is that all being, is that out there?
Absolutely. It's a process. We're working on it every day, and every day we're making strides. We're not, we're not necessarily concerned as much with that as we are making sure that Sheridan's on point and that he's ready.
Okay, because I know that that's very important with this day and age, with the Facebook and the Twitter and the
all the
links,
social media, correct.
Stuff. Yes, all this sort of media stuff, and I've got a lot from you. Your mum's pretty cool, or whoever's doing it's pretty cool, because I get a lot.
Super mom.
Super mom. I get a lot of it out there, but I'm always enamored by so much. You're doing so much sort of in such a short period of time. I'm not going to use the youngers anymore because you are what you are. You've done what you've done, and you're just going to go up and up and up and up and up, and the scale is just beyond of anything. Who do you admire the most out there that you would like to be?
I have a few that have impacted my life the most. Number one is Maestro Luciano Pavarotti.
Pavarotti, oh, yeah.
Yes, I learned my songs from him. I used to go on YouTube with my mom. We used to look at how he sang them, and we'd just copy the lyrics of how he sang it. My second one would be Maestro Andrea Bocelli. Because the way he sings with a passion, makes connection with the audience. It's wonderful.
How do you know at your age that he sings with a passion?
I went to his concert.
Clarence and I know Clarence knows what I'm going, but I'm trying to think, how do you at such a young age know that he's singing with passion, that he's singing with so much within him? I mean, and you do know.
Well, because I believe that when I sing, it's not just to sing. It's to sing with a passion. It's to sing to make connection with the audience, not just to sing and look in their eyes and say, "Yay, I'm singing," but to make a connection with them, to make them feel goosebumps, to make them touch something in their heart that makes them like, "Wow," from heart to heart.
That's amazing, isn't it, Clarence? To have that feeling at such a young age, to be able to absorb all that and to understand it.
It's amazing just to witness it. I mean, it's a beautiful thing to see. You're 100% correct.
Yeah, because and that's why I asked him that question. I wanted to see how he would answer it. It's like, wow, you answer better than I do, and I've had all this experience. So for me, it's just absolutely incredible. If people want to get in touch with you, how can they get in touch with you, Sharon?
They can get in touch with me at my website, www.sheridan-archbold.com.
Okay.
That is www.sheridan-archbold.com.
I'm going to ask you another question right now, because you said, what makes you so not shy? You are not shy at all.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Yeah. Well, that question, I don't know when I'm shy. Shy to me would be...
Do you ever get shy?
Not that I recall. But for me, being shy would be probably the word nervous for me. So, yes, sometimes I do get nervous, depending if what I'm doing or when I'm doing it. Or, like, if I have a concert upcoming, you don't want to get sick, especially if it's in the winter, because then, oops. But that has never happened, so that's good, and let's keep it that way.
What kept you away from not being sick and being able to perform and to be able to sort of be whom you are every day?
Well, I'd have to go back to my parents, because my mother and my father are always there when, for example, I have a concert coming up, and my brother, it's in the winter, and my brothers go outside to play, and I'm like, oh, I want to go too, I want to go too. I'm like, nope, you have to stay in the house, I don't want you to get sick. And sometimes I kind of get really disappointed, but then I say, they're right, because you don't want to get sick.
Yeah, also, Sheridan, you do have choices, and we all have choices. And what we don't realize we have choices until we get a little bit older than what you certainly are now. But you seem to be able to handle these choices by being a preference of, I'd rather stay in and stay well than go out and maybe get a cold and then I can't sing. I mean, that's pretty cool, isn't it, Clarence?
I believe that's fantastic, but that just shows his passion.
Yeah, yeah. So, in other words, what you're saying, Sheridan, is to any child out there, because you're still a child, I don't care what you say, you might think you're grown up.
Right.
If they've got compassion like you, and they've got something they really want, they really need to dedicate themselves to that, otherwise it can just slip away.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so, and also being homeschooled, would you advise that or not advise that? I think probably for you, because you had that dyslexia problem, for you it's easier to be schooled at home because then you
Yes.
have to show everybody else in class of not being able to do something because
Yeah, for obvious reasons.
You're the type of person that you don't want people to know that you can't do something because you can do nearly everything.
Well, it's not necessarily a bad thing.
No.
To look at it, many of the, like Einstein, he had dyslexia. Tom Cruise, he has dyslexia. And it's not bad. They're big, famous people.
See how he thinks, Clarence. He looks at the positive side of it, not the negative side of it. That's what makes you what you are, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to say to the audience out there? Because we're going to be closing in a couple of minutes.
Well, yes, I do have a few words I'd like to say before we close. To all the kids out there who are trying to make it big, never give up, pursue, and be perseverance. And my middle name is Percival, so it stands for perseverance. I looked it up. It's pretty amazing. And master your craft.
Okay, master your craft. Okay, it doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are.
No, it doesn't.
Doesn't matter.
Just master your craft.
Just master your craft. How do you manage to memorize all the words of a song?
Well, since apparently I have dyslexia, my mother says that I have a very good auditory and visual memory. Like, I don't, like, if I don't want to memorize it and just see it on television or look at it somewhere, I would forget it. But if I intentionally want to memorize it, I will remember it.
Oh, so you can choose what you want to do and when you want to memorize something or not. Wow, that's pretty cool.
I can choose in here, yeah.
You can cut a lot of stuff out.
Yeah.
What we all like to do.
You can actually say, I don't know.
I love it. I love it. Clarence, a few words which would you like to say to our audience out there and to our younger generation?
Well, first of all, I want to say it's just an honor to be able to have this interview with you and be with Sheridan. Watching his gift touch so many people, and I'm very thankful to be in the company of his family and his support system. But to the families out there, you know, Sheridan said something very profound earlier. He said that he can't tell you about politics, but he can tell you about religion, and he believes what the Bible says, and I believe that as well. So I believe that to me, our personal philosophy is put God first.
Yes.
And God will direct your path and bring the desires of your heart out. And for the kids out there, use Sheridan as an example. Look at a young kid who's trying to master his craft. He has a situation where, you know, he has a challenge in his life, but it doesn't stop him. He's been nervous, but that doesn't stop him. He's had challenges and mountains to climb, and he finds a new way every day to conquer that. So use him as an example. See that a young guy with a great support system can go out there and do big things. And I expect for everybody to go to his website, check him out, follow him online, and then when his record comes out, by all means, buy it.
Yes.
Oh, I definitely will, that's for sure. I'm going to go out and find this Prince record. I want to find Prince with your son in it. I want to find that one. And I happen to know all about that record. I don't know how I know, but there was a big poster up, and I thought, oh, Prince is still hanging around there. He's still good, and he's still out there making music, so it's wonderful. Well, we've come to the end of our show, and Sheridan, you have just been an inspiration to myself and to my audience. And I think it's just amazing of your courage, your encouragement to other young people too of what to do, and also to have the Word of God. I'm always into that, and I think that sort of gives you kind of a grounding. It gives you a place where you can always be and you can always have. So I want to thank both of you, Clarence. You've been amazing.
My pleasure.
It's my pleasure too. And Clarence, you've been amazing. You are a great manager, a great second dad. You're kind of everything involved there.
Yes, he is.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and we're very thankful.
Well, thank you very much. I would like to thank my audience out there. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to buy Sheridan's new CD out there. Please. Yes, absolutely. We will tune in next week, and we will keep you updated on what Sheridan's up to, because we'll have him back on again to find out how far he's got and where he's going and what he's doing, because I'm sure he's going to just blast the place out there. Thank you, everybody. Take care, Sheridan. Take care, Clarence. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Bye.
I am so proud of you.
Really? Why?
Oh my God. I am so proud of him.
Thank you so much.
I am so proud of you.
Thank you so much. Oh.
You did a